Здравствуйте, товарищи, and welcome to a video log, something I haven't done in quite some time. But before we kind of get into the meat of the topic, which I guess is probably 2013 and looking at the past and what's going to happen in the future and all that exciting stuff, let me kind of address where I've been for the last month or so. Basically, I've been really busy. If you have your own YouTube channel or video podcast or whatever, you know that December is usually not the best month for productivity because of the holidays and you get swept up with things with your family and so on and so forth. But yeah, I got engaged in the whole holiday extravaganza. But as well, on top of that, things were really busy at work. We were doing a sale and for most of December, and it falls to me to manage our entire online presence with something like that because that's my job. So I was really busy in that regard as well. My girlfriend was in Canada, and she was visiting here for 2 weeks, and I was also busy in that regard. And I have some exciting announcements about that in just a bit. But things are slowing down, and it's time to get back to doing some videos. I'm really excited to finish XCOM and get back into the swing of things. Got some ideas for stuff we're going to do in the future that I think you guys are going to enjoy a lot. As well as we're going to have our 2013 Game of the Year Awards, hopefully having that out by the end of this month, and more details on how we're going to do that are going to follow at a later period in time. So, also if you're wondering why I'm wearing fancy clothing, I just got off of work, so I'm still in my work clothes. But yeah, first things first, I guess, is I have an exciting announcement to make on this video log, and that is that I'm getting married. On December 30th, I was in Los Angeles, and I proposed to my girlfriend, and she of course said yes, and now she's my fiancée. So yeah, that's it's a huge step forward, and I couldn't be more excited about it. I suppose I should kind of fill in a couple details about her because I haven't talked a lot about her in a lot of my videos or video logs and everything, and that's mainly because she doesn't like the spotlight that much, and she doesn't like the attention that much. So I don't really, out of respect for her wishes, I don't talk about her and our life together too terribly much. But we haven't been dating for that long, but we've known each other for a really long time. I've known her for about 5 years, and we actually met playing Left 4 Dead, the original Left 4 Dead. We met shortly after it came out, and we had like when that game came out, I was like so obsessed with it, and I was playing it all the time, and I was meeting all these people because it's honestly one of the best games I've ever played to meet people, because you get together, and especially when it first came out, there was a ton of people playing. And you all get together in a room and you fight zombies, and you have to communicate, so you have to get to know one another. And so we had a mutual friend who played the game, and this mutual friend was playing with her at the time, like playing the game, not anything other than that. And he invited me, and we're trying to beat this mode on expert, and we're all playing together, and we get to talking, and I had her on my friends list, and she adds me on her friends list, and from there, we just kept talking and got to know each other, and our friendship grew and grew and grew, and eventually last year we decided that we would make the step to actually meet each other in person, and we spent a week in Vancouver together, and our chemistry was fantastic. Everything was as awesome and as cohesive as it was sort of online. And eventually we made the decision that we're gonna try and do a relationship. We want to because obviously we both really, really like each other, and we really want to be together. And I make enough money that visiting her every so often, usually once a month, isn't that big an issue. So we decided to do it, and it hasn't always been easy, but the fact that we have such compatible personalities makes it a lot easier than it would be otherwise, especially with inventions like Skype and that kind of stuff. You can talk and see each other every day, and we kind of things are going so amazingly well. Of course, I've known her for such a long time that eventually things just kind of clicked, and we both thought that you're the person I want to spend the rest of my life with, and yeah, so here we are, and ready to, I guess, move forward into the future together, and it's going to be a little bit crazy for the next couple months. We're planning to have the wedding in June, and from there, before that, we want to get started. She's going to come up here. I'm not going to move to America yet. Maybe one day I might move down to LA, but I don't know if I could live in that city. Every time I go down there, I seemingly get really sick. It's really weird, and I'm convinced it's like the smog and pollution. But she's gonna come up here, so we've got the wedding to plan, and we've got her moving, changing countries, and all these different things. So it's gonna be a little bit, breakneck speed for the first half of this year. But once that's all settled, then hopefully it'll be smooth sailing. So that's, I guess, my big announcement. And if you follow me on my Facebook page, you've already known this for a couple days now. Actually, over a week. Exactly one day over a week. And when I put it on my Facebook page, it got the most likes out of anything I've ever gotten on my Facebook page. That's very good news. Everybody's wishing us well. And we both of us, me and Jasmine, really want to thank you guys for all the kind words and all the well wishes you've given us, and we both really appreciate it. But yeah, so that's my big announcement. The videos aren't going anywhere, but it's weird to think about. I started this so long ago, and I was just in college, and now, or actually was just starting college, and now I've graduated. I've got full-time employment and getting married, and it's just crazy to think that from that point to now, how established my life is becoming, and that's a good thing. I'm a guy who values stability a lot, and yeah, it's just crazy to think about where I am now and where I was when I started these videos. So yeah, so let's talk about 2013 a little bit. At least for me, it has been a pretty good year. Obviously, ended really really well. Started pretty well. There was a little bit of a period where I was really worried because when I started 2013. Did I say 2012? I don't know if I did, but we're talking about 2013. So when I started 2013, I was working as a marketing consultant for a company called Structureland, and there was no job security with that. And in March, I think it was, or April, I can't remember exactly, I learned that they were not going to renew my contract, and that my tenure at that company was not going to continue. So I was worried for about a month about what I was going to do in terms of employment. I had a couple ideas. One of my ideas was move to another country and teach English, and that's something I'd always wanted to do. But I went to, it was called like a young youth entrepreneurial event in my town here, and it was basically about people who wanted to come together and were thinking about starting businesses or whatever. And I had this envision that I was just going to do what I was doing with Structureland, except I would do it with multiple other clients, which was basically telling them how to engage in social media and engage with their audience and their customer base and that type of stuff. And I met Rob there, who is the general manager of Penticton Hyundai, and me and him got to talking, and he's like, I could use a guy at the dealership with your talents. Why don't you do a couple projects for us and come in for an interview, and we'll see where things go from there. And bada bing, bada boom. In June, I started at Penticton Hyundai as their internet sales director, and haven't looked back since, and I've enjoyed that job immensely. I never thought I'd be working in the car industry, but I enjoy it's fun work, it's challenging work. There's always something new, and there's always something dynamic going on. I don't engage with the customers as much as a lot of the salespeople do, but it is definitely fun to talk with the customers I do talk to. Provided they're not the kind of guys that really like to grind you down on price, but and also engage with our current customer base through our social media channels has been a ton of fun, and I've met a lot of people that way in my town, and really started to establish myself here. And yeah, that, I guess, in terms of employment, that really brings me to where I am now. When it comes to, I guess, gaming, which is still obviously a huge part of my life. Oh, and let's not forget the devastating election loss that happened in early, or actually mid-May. That was pretty tough on me. But when it comes to sort of, I guess, gaming-wise, there were actually some disappointments this year. I thought this year was going to be like an amazing an amazing year for strategy titles. And we had like Company Heroes 2, we had StarCraft Heart of the Swarm, and we had Rome 2 and Europa Universalis 4. And some of those were disappointments. I think Company Heroes 2 was definitely not as good as the original. But that doesn't mean it's a bad game. It just, I guess, didn't live up to the bar that was set. And a similar scenario exists with Rome 2 Total War. I personally don't think it's as bad as everybody says it is. I got really screwed over in my Let's Play because the patches like completely rebalanced the game. So one day when I sat down to do some recording, I had like minus 500 food, and like I was losing money, and all of a sudden I'm like, what is going on? And I just couldn't rebalance my economy, and I was just kind of like, I don't want to play this game anymore, and took my ball and went home. But I think Heart of the Swarm, Starcraft Heart of the Swarm was definitely, even though it wasn't hugely risky, it was a ton of fun, and I enjoyed that game immensely because the foundation there is so good. And European Universalis 4, I think I didn't expect it to be as good and as fun as it was, and I think that took a lot of people actually by surprise, and I was really happy with how that game turned out, so that definitely wasn't a disappointment. But I also ended up getting a PlayStation 4 for the holidays, and I've had the chance to play around with it a little bit, and it's never ever going to supplant my PC as my main gaming attachment, if you will. But some of the things it's doing are pretty nifty. I haven't really tried the screen sharing and screen capturing, which is weird considering my guy who does an awful lot of that. But it looks great. I've been playing Assassin's Creed 4 mainly, which is way better than I thought it would be. I've never enjoyed the Assassin's Creed series. I've never really gotten into it until Assassin's Creed 4, and now I can't stop playing that damn game. It's a lot of fun. And I also got Killzone Mercenaries or Shadowfall or whatever the hell it's called, because that's like the game you get with your PlayStation 4, and I've played it for all about 15 minutes maybe. It looks great, but it's just not very engaging. You're like playing the game, and there's some space Nazis, and they kill your dad, and you've obviously got to avenge your dad because space Nazis are evil, and you can tell they're space Nazis because they have glowing red eyes and this ridiculously, kind of Darth Vader-esque looking armor. So you can tell that they're evil. It's not very ambiguous, but so there's not a lot to say about Killzone, I guess. I'm trying to think of all the other major games I've played. Battlefield 4 was fun, but it wasn't mind blowing or mind breaking or whatever you want to say. I played a lot of really great, indie titles this year, like Papers, Please. Oh, God, that game was so awesome. That game was... it just I thought it was hilarious, and maybe that's because I'm a sick bastard, but I thought that was like the funniest game I've played in a long time. Um, but all in all, I think it was a good year for indie developers who are clearly on the rise. With they seem to be getting better every single year. Indie games seem to be getting increasing in both quality and quantity every year. So that makes me excited to see what's going to happen next year. And yeah, I think that kind of brings me to the end of my musings about, at least personally, what's happened to me. In the last year, I gotten fatter, but that's kind of a sort of a byproduct of working a desk job and not having enough time to adequately exercise. I'm trying to think. What else? I watched Avatar: The Last Airbender this year. I can't believe I missed that show. That was pretty sweet. Yeah, I think all in all, 2013 might have been the best year of my life, and it's been fantastic. And I've got, obviously, going into 2014, I've got nothing but hope and nothing but optimism and nothing but the best to give the world. And I couldn't be more excited to see where this year takes us. So I think that brings me to the end of everything that's happened in the last little bit, and what has happened this year, and what's gonna happen moving forward. So stay tuned for our 2013 Game of the Year awards. It's probably gonna follow the exact same format as it did last year, because that's a winning format. At least for me, I don't have the time to like do what big sites do and make individual videos for every single category and that type of stuff. But I can do a top 10 game of the year, and I have no idea what my game of the year is gonna be. Last year it was pretty easy. But I can't believe I forgot about XCOM Enemy Unknown in terms of our strategy games, which also lived up to a lot of the hype. But then again, it was like StarCraft. It was building on a solid foundation and taking that to the next level. In any case, so I just want to thank you guys for watching, and I hope you'll be patient with me as we start getting back into Let's Plays. I hope you'll be patient with waiting for that Game of the Year video. I always love Game of the Year. Game of the Year is one of my favorite things to do. I don't know why. I just love it. But I'm really excited for this year. I'm excited to see what you guys say. I'm also excited to see where I come out, because I haven't decided what my personal Game of the Year is going to be. I've got a swath of probably 5 games at this point that I'm trying to decide which one it's going to come down on, and I'll need to do some serious meditating to see what that is. If you guys aren't following me on Facebook, you should. Just Google William Spencer Downing. It's always in the description of every video. You should also follow me on Twitter, which basically is a vessel for letting you know when new when new videos are out. And with that, I want to thank you guys for watching. This is Joseph Useron of Stalin, signing off for now. Until next time, you guys take care.